Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, while intervening in this debate, I would like to thank the honorable members who have contributed to this debate. Each and everyone has given words of praise for our armed forces. They have supported us. Not only they supported us, but they have urged that government should provide more funds for the defense forces. As regards the parliamentary committee, which has been mentioned by some honorable members, there was a recommendation, but it has not been accepted nor has it been rejected. We have started certain schemes and started implementation of these recommendations. Once these recommendations are implemented and once we have the feedback, then we would like to consider whether a parliamentary committee is at all necessary. But we can say at this stage that the government has neither rejected nor accepted the formulation of the parliamentary committee. A mention has been made that army should not be deployed time and again and civilian aids. It is always the policy of the government, so also of the defense ministry, that we never encourage it unless it is absolutely necessary. The army has played a very good role in helping the civilian administration when they are called for at the time of natural calamities and for combating terrorist activities in various parts of the country. They have maintained good relations with civilian population. Of late, unfortunately, there are some criticisms when army has been deployed in Manipur and Tripura. And I can tell that army has never involved itself in any other activities than those which they have been assigned for, that is countering the insurgency. We have seen that insurgency in Nagaland has been stopped. We have seen that after the army was inducted in Tripura, peace has not only come but the killings have been stopped. This is a good sign. Army has been assigned with the particular job and they are doing it. Not only that, when army goes to different remote areas, they take certain steps to develop better contact with the people. In Tripura, I myself have seen that the army has taken medical team along with their combat team and they have given medical aid to the people of that area. In addition to this, they have organized various activities there through distribution of foodstuffs among the children, and they have also given nourishing food to the children. It will be wrong to say that some political parties are trying to say something against the army. I would like to put on record that there is no truth in it. In Mizoram, in northeastern region, army has always proved that whatever assignment has been given to them, they have performed it with sincerity, and we always believe that army must have a good relation with the public and we will continue to do so. About the mention of the defense preparedness, as I said, my senior colleague will deal with it. I would like to say that we have an organization under the chairmanship of the Prime Minister, the Border Roads Organization. It was formed in 1960. This organization has a prospective plan for 15 years. They go in the remotest area where it is very difficult to maintain the communications. They are doing very good work and they will continue to do good work. This is basically necessary to give easy access to our armed forces in the border areas adjoining Pakistan and China, as well as in remote areas where there is security hazard. The Border Roads Organization has done very well and I shall have to put on record my thanks to the Border Roads Organizations. The armed forces are there to protect the border of our country, but at the same time we must prepare our civilian population also. Our government has basically taken steps to prepare a citizen force, that is the territorial army. We are happy that this territorial army, when they have been called for any national service, has done a good job. We have seen that the territorial army has also played a very important role when there was a strike in the Indian Railways. We are not concerned how and when the strike has to be diffused. We are called for to give service when the public suffers. We take this responsibility. We have no reasons to interfere whether the strike is legitimate or not. We as Defense Ministry do not interfere in that. As regards NCC, this is yet another area where we have taken special care to build up our future generation. Now we have got naval training and air force training in the NCC, and our experience is that the youths of our country who have participated in the NCC are coming in the army and are also getting prepared for it. in difficult times, their services can also be utilized to the best advantage of the nation, whether in war or peace. Sir, with regard to khadi and village industries, I would like to make one or two general observations before I proceed to take up the various clauses of the bill. The supreme importance of khadi and village industries and their contribution to the development of the national economy are well known. It was no less a person than Mahatma Gandhi who focused the attention of the nation on the key role that these industries, khadi and village industries and cottage industries, have to put in the building up of the nation on balanced lines for nearly 3 decades. He gave the utmost importance to the development of these industries. After the achievement of independence, both the central government and the state governments have lost no opportunity and spared no efforts to give a great fillip to the development of these industries. I would like at the outset to state that the main responsibility for the development of these industries falls squarely on the shoulders of the state governments. It is the state governments that have got to bear the brunt of this responsibility, and it is apparatus of the state governments, namely the various departments of industries that they have built up and which are functioning, that has got to discharge the supreme responsibility of developing these industries. But in view of its great importance, sir, the central government has come into the picture. It is not necessary for me at this stage to narrate the developments that they have taken place, the discussions that have taken place in regard to the role that the central government has to play in the development of these industries during the last few years. When we were discussing the first 5-year plan, when we are formulating it and after we formulate the plan, there were discussions at a very high level to bring into being certain central authorities in order to deal with these cottage industries. I am sure the honorable members are aware of the first 5-year plan and its contents, and I need not quote from that plan. It is enough to say that as a result of the efforts made in the beginning of the first 5-year plan and the discussions held at various levels, several All India borders were brought into existence, of which the Khadi and Village Industries Board is very important and deserves consideration. So many boards have been brought into existence. For example, the Handloom Board, the Small Scale Industry Board, the Coir Board and the Tea Board, the Rubber Board and so on. During the discussions on the second 5-year plan, when it was in the stage of formulation, it was decided that these industries should play a very vital role in the development of our national economy, and for well-known reasons. Decentralization of industries is a thing about which we have heard so much on several occasions, and its importance is well realized. We want to increase production to the maximum possible extent in respect of certain selected consumers industries without at the time impairing or prejudicially affecting the maximum amount of production of some other goods that is necessary for our expanding economy. It is in this context that a decision has been taken that we have to give the maximum assistance and support for the development of these industries, and these all India bodies have been brought into existence only for the purpose of, if I may say so, supplementing the efforts of the state governments and not supplanting the efforts of the state governments. This is a point which has got to be very carefully borne in mind. Whenever an all India body is being brought into existence, it is not as if there is any desire on the part of the central government to take away the authority of the state governments or to over centralize anything, but there is really every desire to supplement the efforts of the state governments. In respect of these industries, the sole desire is to assist the state governments by giving them financial support and by guiding them in matters of policy. Well, sir, a little while ago I was giving the genesis of the Khadi and Village Industries Board. It was conceived mainly as an advisory body, that is to say, to advise the central government and the state governments in the matter of planning these cottage industries and preparing schemes for the development of cottage industries of various types, and giving some sort of support and strength by those who have got a considerable experience in the building up of these industries over a long period of time in 2 or 3 decades. Though it was mainly conceived as an advisory body, yet certain executive functions were made to come within the purview of the working of this board. I need not refer at the present moment to the several executive functions that were given to this board. It is now more than an advisory body.